Welcome back to another GIM series video. Today we're going to continue chronicling our journey in the retirement home that is Corporeal Beast. Now on the side, I'm also going to be updating you guys with our thieving progress on 416 Hero, the 50 defense GIM account attached to the same group. And also on the other side, I'm going to be updating you guys with my normal accounts progression to 99 sailing and therefore max total stats once again. I'm not always going to include my main. In fact, I'm more than likely just going to log out for quite a bit of time until new content comes out when it comes to the main account. When 416 Hero reaches 99 thieving, we're going to start doloing Corp. But until then, let's do it the good old-fashioned way. Alright, I've already began the speccing down process, but our starting KC today is 436. Before we go any further here, let's take a look at our collection log at Corporeal Beast. That's right, we have both the Spectral and the Arcane Sigil in just 437 KC. In fact, both of these pulls were over 200 KC ago now at this point, so safe to say we are Giga Spoon at Corporeal Beast. On top of that, we also have the Jar of Spirits. And of course, we are here to go for the Elysian Sigil, which, you know, if it's gonna course correct our luck, well, we might be here for a while. I mean, even if we were on rate, we will be here for a while because we need to multiply our KC by about 10 just to hit rate for the Ellie. So coincidentally, both the skills I'm training up on the side on the other accounts are at level 97 at this point in time. Now, thieving at Varlamore is better EXP rates than the Giga AFK sailing method I'm doing, that is salvaging. And not only that, but salvaging with 2 crewmates on the hook, and I don't have a crystal extractor going on or anything, so it's just full AFK for like 20-25 minutes at a time. But the thieving levels, or the thieving EXP, is better than the sailing. But I will say though, I'm probably always going to be salvaging just because of how AFK it is. And I will be thieving in the background anytime I'm doing Corp pretty much. But on paper, the thieving should hit 99 first, but in reality, I think sailing might have a slight edge. Nevertheless, though, I think it's going to be about equal. And like I said, when the time comes when I hit 99 in both these skills, or more specifically thieving, I'm going to bring 416 Hero on over here to speed up these Corp KCs. Now, I still haven't figured out what my strategy here is for Duo or more specifically Dolo Corp. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. For now, let's see if we can get lucky and get ourselves another drop. Second KC of the session, we get a whole bunch of gems. You know, I probably could bring a gem bag into my setup. In fact, my cannon base from way back ago is still in my inventory setup, and I just keep bringing it even though there's no point. But I'm not too worried about the gems, to be honest. 416 Hero is only 84 Hunter, so we gotta stay on top of our birdhouse runs on this account. Once again, stinging on my prayer pot dose, but one more hit. Third time's the charm, right? Oh, a spirit shield. Okay, wow. Alright, let's get out here. Let's take a look at the collection log. We have a lot of spirit shields. We are up to 13 of those now in just 439 KC. Off the top of my head, I believe these things are actually a 1 in 64, so we're very lucky on spirit shields if that's the case. Alright, I know we just got started, but it's actually around dinner time for me, so I gotta go figure that out. I've logged out on the other 2 accounts, but of course with how AFK this is, I'm just gonna leave this running. We're back at it. 2,500 pure essence. Alright, we're gonna get settled in here and start racking up the KC. Obviously, I'm not gonna show you guys every single KC, because after the 5th Mystic Robe Top, it might get a little repetitive. But I will check in with you guys every time I get Onyx Bolts or something like that, because that loot beam is always good to see. But yeah, I wonder what KC we can get up to before we get 99 thieving on 416 Hero. Currently, we're on 440 KC. And in terms of thieving, we're still 97, but we're halfway to 98 already. You know what's crazy is despite all this time I've spent at Corp for the last couple of weeks now, well, we still are not at rate for 1 sigil. That being 1 in 585, if I recall correctly. But right now we're going to keep working on Corp and making progress in the KCs where we can, as much as we can, because, well, there's nothing I can do to speed up the thieving process. Well, other than, you know, going doing blackjacking or something, but little context here. Besides the fact that Varlamore thieving is very, very AFK, and I can do that as a secondary activity while I'm doing Corp, I really, really dislike the thieving skill. It is my least favorite skill by far out of the, 24 skills in the game now. So Varlamore thieving is probably the only reason I'm ever going to get 99 thieving on that account, because I've already been through the trouble of RD Knight pickpocketing or blackjacking on, well, at least 2 accounts now. So yeah, if it wasn't for the existence of Varlamore thieving, I might never get 99 thieving on that account. Man, I swear every time I'm trying to talk about something while doing Corp, I end up doing way too many Emberlight specs. In other news, I surpassed 180 million strength EXP at some point recently. I think probably in the middle of a hard mode top, which is why I didn't really see it. But yeah, what a milestone, just 20 mil EXP, sub 20 mil now, until 200 mil. And this is more than likely going to be my first 200 mil EXP skill. Honestly, not surprising that it's going to be strength because I do so much PVMing on this account. So pretty cool to see. Well, I'm definitely settled in now, and I've been autopiloting quite a bit, up to 450 KC, nice little milestone. For as slow as each Corp KC may be, and as rare as the items may be, and then once you get your hands on the item as... I don't know if useless is the right word, because that's pretty harsh, you know, like... An Ellie is really cool, and I suppose by definition an Ellie is useless, because where are we really going to use it? But my point being is that as quote-unquote pointless of a grind this might be, and how much time it's going to take, I'm actually rather enjoying myself here at Corp. It's a very, very cozy grind, which is not something I would have thought would be the case when I first started. I thought the teleport out method speccing it down would be really tedious, but once you get into a group of things, it's, again, the right word for it, I think, is cozy. Now, obviously, I am looking to speed up the KCs once 416 Hero reaches 99 thieving, and that might switch up the dynamic. We'll just have to see what happens if it becomes really, really intensive or whatever, but right now, it's really not. Obviously, because I'm able to play 2 other accounts at the same time while I'm doing this, and I guess even if I wasn't playing the other accounts, I could, you know, slap on a show, watch some YouTube series myself, and whatnot. Again, cozy. Let's just check in with 416 Hero real quick. We're in the middle of a birdhouse run, 84 Hunter with just about 71,000 EXP to go until 85. We're doing magic birdhouses, and it's going to be quite a while until we do the next tier, which is Redwoods at 89. So that's 5 levels away, and that's going to be not a problem when it comes to the Hunter levels. However, if we want to do Redwoods then, we also have to train our crafting EXP, and our current level is just 75. In order to make Redwood birdhouses, let's take a look here and scroll all the way down. We're going to need to get a whopping 90 crafting, so 15 levels away from that. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Over on my normal account, still salvaging, nothing too interesting going on here. No more dragon cannon barrels or any unique drops. In fact, I haven't even seen a moldy doll in a while. That's not that important though. When it comes to our EXP, we are 348k EXP away from 98 sailing. So in terms of the EXP and obviously the level remaining on both accounts, we're on our way to 98. And back on, wait for it here. Just finished up the Corp KC. Mahogany logs. Alright, this is a pretty notable drop, just 458 KC now, but we got 2,000 steel cannonballs. I have not seen this drop in a hot minute, and we've seen plenty of spirit shields in that time frame. Cannonballs have always been a weird thing for Ironman because you definitely don't get enough to warrant using them. These days it is a little bit better. There are options to speed up cannonball making with the likes of the Giant's Foundry with the double cannon mold, and there's even the whatchamacallit on Grimstone Island, the furnace that is double cannonballs there. So I guess it's actually like 4x cannonballs when you have the mold and you go to the furnace over there. But I don't know the numbers, but I imagine it's probably still not really worth it. Maybe the only time you want to make some cannonballs is if you have a very specific grind to use them for. But if you plan on using them for Slayer, for just about like any Slayer task, you're definitely going to end up using more than you can make or even get. I will say though, I actually have a very, very healthy stack of cannonballs sitting in my bank. In fact, let me just glance over with the saved bank plugin here on the side, and let's see how many cannonballs we have. I actually have 130,000 cannonballs. I suppose I should be using them, right? Because they're just sitting in my bank with no purpose. But it's just, again, it's just one of those things, you know? Like, I know that if I start using them, I wouldn't be able to upkeep them, and eventually I'd just run out. So it's a bit of a weird one. I guess it's the same concept when it comes to other resources like dragon arrows and dragon dart tips. I have about 25,000 dragon arrows, and the only time I've ever used them was when I was going for a speed task like in the Inferno. But outside of that, on a average raid run, I'd probably still stick to using amethyst arrows because they are sustainable. Do let me know in the comment section, am I just being stingy, or do you guys do this too? Or if you were in my position, would you be the same way? I don't know. One more thing about the whole cannonball thing. I guess no matter what, it doesn't matter how fast you can make the cannonballs if you just don't have the steel bars. I mean, where are you going to get steel bars from? More cannonballs. All we have to do was start talking about them. Today has mostly been steel cannonballs, but we managed to snag ourselves some onyx bolts as well. Always nice to see. No way. Wow, Corp just absolutely deleted me there. I was still working on the hammer specs to start a new KC, and boom, I'm dead. My inventory is an absolute mess right now, but we're going to continue with this KC. I suppose since I wasn't paying too much attention, and I'm not exactly pre-anglering or anything like that to keep my HP extra high, that was bound to happen at some point, and it might just happen again in the future. But considering I've gone this long without that happening, I think we'll be okay for the most part. A death here and there isn't going to be the end of the world, although that is 250k out of my desk offer. Alright, just finished that KC out, got myself a Mystic Air Staff. We have reorganized our inventory, re-geared, and we're good to go for another KC. So, despite the death right there, this spec down method is actually the safest method of doing Corp. So if you're on hardcore or like an ultimate Ironman, or I don't know, you just really want to make sure you're not about to plank or something, this is definitely the way to do it. But it goes to show that even when you're doing this method, you have to pay good attention. Money. Checking in on 416 Hero because we are on the cusp of becoming 98 thieving, just under 1,000 EXP to go now. A couple more pickpockets or whatever, a couple more searches from these chests, perhaps one bonus chest coming up sometime soon, maybe, I don't know. But we're going to hit 98 thieving, and I've done a pretty good job of staying on top of thieving while I'm doing Corp. And so much so that I've actually pulled away from the sailing. Well, there we have it, 98 thieving, just one level removed from 99, and then we will begin Dolo Corp. But 98 to 99 is going to take 1.2 mil EXP, so it's going to be quite a while. But we've been staying on top of the thieving so well that we've actually pulled away from the sailing EXP, despite the fact that I can easily salvage almost all the time anytime a computer's on, really. Aerospace in my clan here has been grinding Royal Titans just for the Dead Eye Prayer. I believe that's what it's called, but he has gone everything except the Prayer Scroll. To be fair, he's only 132 KC, which actually makes it more alarming that he just got the pet. And he's gone like 2 ice crowns at this point. Oh, I've been corrected. Not only has he pulled the pet and the ice staff 2 times, but actually it's 4 times. Wow, that's crazy. Well, I was about to say, can I get some of that RNG? But I guess I already have, because here at Corp, we are at a 483 KC, and I already have 2 sigils, yet we're still not on rate for 1. That is 585, so we're 102 KC away. Ooh, KC 485, our second holy elixir. This is actually very important because I'm pretty sure we actually need this one for the Ellie. This one's going to have to be my last KC for tonight. No, don't look at the chat box. It is not 4 a.m. for me right now. I may have gone a little ham today, but I've been enjoying the corp grind like I said earlier in the video, and it's been very, very chill, very, very cozy to do. But right now, not only is it definitely not 4 a.m., but I'm also running low on games necklaces. Actually, I've already burned through most of them, so I'm going to take the time to make some more of those. Although, by the time I hit 99 thieving on 416 Hero, I won't be needing games necklaces anymore, I don't think. So I'll be making some, but not too many. It is a completely different day now, but games necklaces have been made, so we are good to return to Corp. And as for 416 Hero, we are about 1 million EXP away from 99 thieving, so it's going to be a fair bit, but I'm looking forward to it because that means we will start doloing Corp. So we're getting closer to 98 sailing here on the Normie account, and I was going to check in with you guys on here then. But we just pulled another Dragon Cannon Barrel. That is our 4th one in roughly 44,000 opulent salvages. Wow. Oh, there goes our 14th Spirit Shield, I believe. 491 KC. Let's open the collection log here. Indeed it is, 14. Again, these things are 1 in 64. I don't know how 14 of these bad boys. Alright, here we go. This last batch of salvage should get us... Well, it's not the last batch. We still have many, many batches of salvage to go through. But this specific inventory is going to get us to 98 sailing, leaving us with one more level to go. 3, 2, and 1. 98 sailing. There it is. 2375 total level and just one more to go. So now we're at the point where both accounts I've been progressing on the side are just one level away from 99. As for the normal account, once we hit 99 sailing, I'm going to be logging out of that account for quite some time, I think. At the moment, I don't really have any other plans for that account, but it'll be nice to have it maxed once again. After all, it was the first account I ever maxed, and then wait for it, this account being the second. I always have to go back to that account just to keep it somewhat up to date, ready for any potential new content. But for 416 Hero, again, just can't wait for the Dolo Corp. It's going to speed up KCs exponentially, I think. I don't really know the exact rates we're going to get, but I gotta imagine it's gotta be like 2 times quicker at least, right? Ah, yes, the good old 2000 Cannonball drop. Very nice. So, old school RuneScape isn't really an MMO where you have dailies. I suppose if you're an Ironman, you can kinda have your own dailies, you know, like you would want to probably do a farming contract or two, maybe an herb run, a birdhouse run, but those aren't like specifically game implemented dailies, like a quest or something like that. These are just goals you set yourself specifically for an Ironman. And hey, maybe even some mains do that. Some normal accounts set themselves some daily goals to accomplish. Well, in saying that, I just want to say that there was an era where actually, for whatever reason, I just did like 1 Corp KC a day or something like that. I tried to anyways. And that's how I ended up with the Arcane at just... I forget the KC, but it was like 70 something maybe, like really, really early, sub 100. And then also the Arcane, or not the Arcane, sorry, the Spectral, I got shortly after becoming Grandmaster because, well, I just didn't know what to do. So I was like, let me just go send some Corp while I think of my next plans. And then I ended up with it. But it's funny to see now I'm camping Corp, doing a ton of Corp every single day, trying to get up the KC for this Ellie. Also, in my early days of playing old school RuneScape, when I was still playing on my normal account and I first joined this clan that I'm in, I'm pretty sure there was a maxed Ironman that was already on the Corp grind. Now, to this day, they still don't have an Ellie, and that's after me playing my main account, my normal account, maxing that, playing this Ironman account, maxing this, and here I am at Corp with just under 500 KC myself, and unfortunately, they still don't have the Ellie. Now, obviously, they weren't doing Corp day in and day out every single day, right, for who knows how many years now, but obviously, they did put a good chunk of time in. They're well over 6,000 KC, closer to 7,000 and 6,000 really, and they have obviously put in the time to deserve an Ellie, but unfortunately they still don't have one. Wouldn't it be something if I ended up with the Ellie myself before they did? Sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles. That's just the game, but you know what? I don't want to jinx myself. Maybe I'm going to be the one with 7,000 KC, you know? And with this KC, we reach another nice little milestone here. If we can just simply hit. Again, at the end of these KCs, I tend to just stinge out on using another prayer dose because, well, I don't really need it, right? Corpse of chicken, it's not really going to do much damage to me here. Not wasting a prayer dose, I'm being cheap. But here we go, 500 KC, we get 20 runite ore. More cannonballs. Only an Ironman would get excited about a cannonball drop, right? This loot beam never gets old. Onyx bolts E. More cannonballs, plus 2,000. According to the loot tracker, we're up to 32,000 steel cannonballs from Corp alone. Well, this EXP milestone kind of caught me off guard. 30 million attack EXP. Honestly, I probably sat below that threshold for quite some time because these days I really don't gain that much attack EXP other than maybe when I'm using my Elder Maw to spec because you want to put that on accurate. But yeah, I haven't used any spear, any hostile, like this Noxious Halberd. This is the only time I'm making use of it, and I definitely don't use a Dragon Hunter Lance or anything like that anymore because of the Scythe. An update on 416 Heroes thieving progress. Well, I just came back from a birdhouse run and we're 7 birdhouses away from 85 Hunter, but for thieving, we are now about 50%, just under that, actually, of the way through to 99 thieving. And I mean from 98, you know, no 92 joke here. 98 to 99, we got another 621k EXP to go. It feels like we started out hot and now it's quieted down a bit. Haven't seen too many Cannonball or Onyx Bolt drops, let alone obviously the sigils or anything like that. But with such a long grind like this is to be expected. There's going to be ups and downs, and honestly, we're still so early, 524 KC now, and still not on rate for even one sigil. And I cannot stress enough, we're still in a very, very fortunate situation at this given time. So, yeah, we just gotta keep going, rack up the KC. Again, all you have to do is complain a little about it, talk about it. 527 KC, we get another Spirit Shield. I mean, obviously not useful, but it's nice to see. That is going to be our 15th one, I believe. Yep, there it is. It is Birdhouse O'Clock on 416 Hero, and with that, we get 85 Hunter. And on wait for it, I was getting ready to start another Corp KC. Caught both my accounts in the POH at the same time. It's always a little bit confusing when my accounts are in the same location, but I'm doing different things. It's a different story if, for example, I was going to Corp Cave on both accounts. But here we go. I have to send 416 here to the Portal Nexus to get back to Varlamore. And then I have to send this account, hit the POH, and then go to the Corp Cave. It is 3 in the morning. I got 400k EXP to go. Can I call this the home stretch? I might have just called 98 to 99 the home stretch, but it is a pretty long home stretch. The sweet, sweet Onyx Bolts loot beam. It's a brand new day now, and today should be the day that we hit 99 thieving on 416 Hero, meaning we can start doloing Corp. Should be anyways, but before we get started with more Corp, I gotta do my usual farming contract and the works as an Ironman. Always gotta do those. Always feels good to do those at the start of a session, and then we'll get straight back into it. And let's do a bit of a check-in with my normal account here at the salvaging spot, sailing. Not much going on here as well. The method I'm doing is just a lot slower, as I've mentioned before, and I've actually been pretty active on the game, thieving and doing corp all in the meanwhile. So there's not actually been too much downtime. And since the sailing EXP is a lot slower with this method I'm doing, I still have a whopping 820k EXP to go. But no worries there. As I said, this is super AFK, so we're just chilling in the background. First KC of the day, a Mystic Earth Staff. Oh wow, I don't know whether to take this as a good sign or a bad sign, but we just got a shield left half salvaging. This Dragon Cannon barrel is from earlier, I just forgot to bank it. Before we continue specking away at Corporeal Beast, just thought I'd update you guys on the KC we're at now. I think it's been a while since I last checked in on that. We're up to 540 now on that last KC where we got Cannonballs. And that's honestly a pretty nice milestone. I think I last mentioned 500 KC. And assuming 5 KC an hour when we're doing this solo spec down method, that is easily 100 plus hours of solo corp already. Again, I'm looking forward to dolo corp, and as long as I'm stayed glued to my computer today, thieving in the background while I'm doing corp, we should be good to go on that. Just about 300k EXP remaining in terms of thieving to 99. And when I say glued, to be honest, even with this laid back Varlamore thieving method, you can still obtain over 100k EXP an hour doing this method if you're paying attention. Now, I'm not going to be paying that much attention. I definitely don't achieve over 100k EXP an hour, but assuming so, that would only take about another 3 hours. So for us, realistically, maybe 3 to 4 hours, and we'll hit 99. Running to a different house right now, but just 200k, actually less than 200k EXP to go till the big 99. We're getting closer and closer. When we're done with the thieving grind, I should probably turn in these valuables. We have 175k of them sitting in our inventory, and as far as I know, I've never traded any of them in since the beginning, since I started Varlamore thieving, which is probably right around the level requirement. Obviously, I have a whole bunch of house keys left over. I pickpocketed way too many of those. But if you didn't know, pickpocketing the keys is actually arguably easier and less intensive than this house thieving method. Well, this entire thing is house thieving method, but you can actually stand in the middle of the market there and pickpocket these house keys. You can pretty much just do one click every minute and a half or so, and your character will auto pickpocket for a brief window in time. Obviously, you can also choose to pickpocket the good old-fashioned way and just constantly click on the NPCs, but that's a big part of the reason why I don't like thieving as a skill, so I didn't really do that. I just did the AFK method. Oh wow, I just absolutely zoned out. That was KC 550, so another nice little KC milestone. Not too many more though until we start doloing. I keep saying that, but it's coming, less than 200k EXP. The time has finally arrived. We're breaking into one more house here, and then just a couple of steals from these chests, and this is it. We're gonna get 99 thieving. Okay, maybe a couple. Oh, there we go, 99 thieving. I thought it was like 2 more, but it was like 4 or 5 right there. Nevertheless, we finally did it. The meme is over. It's been like over half a year of me going, yeah, I'm gonna do Varlamore thieving all the way to 99. And then I just don't ever get around to it. But here we go. It has finally happened. Congratulations, you are now a master thief. Oh yeah, we can go pick up our 99 thieving cape, which we will do in a little bit. But what we need to do, first things first, let's get out of this house. We have 178k, almost 179k of these valuables that we're going to turn in to, not this guy, but no, this shady looking guy, this dodgy character right here next to the bank. Okay, I went through a bunch of dialogue, but turns out you just have to right click trade in. We're going to trade in all of these because we have no use for them otherwise. And that just gave us 11 mil, 10 to 11 mil right there. Holy. And into the Rogue's Den, trade Martin Thwaite, buy thieving cape trimmed. It's kind of weird. Some NPCs, you have to go through some dialogue with them, but sometimes they're also just in their store if they have one. Like, for example, I know the rune crafting one is also in its shop. But let's slap on the cape and hood. Oh, man. All right, well, moving on. We're going to be doloing Corp. I'm going to figure things out, and we'll get situated for that.